Abandoned and pregnant, she became a billionaire's caregiver and discovered a secret but, Carlos, she whispered, her voice cracking with emotion. I have to tell Carlos. With her heart pounding, Monica dialed her boyfriend's number. The ringtone echoed in his ears, each ring increasing his anxiety. Hello? Carlos' sleepy voice finally responded. Carlos, I need to see you. It's important, Monica said, struggling to maintain her composure. There was a long silence on the other end of the line. Monica, I think I know what you're going to tell me, Carlos responded, his tone suddenly cold. And the truth is, I can't take care of this. Monica's world collapsed in that moment. Carlos's words resonated in his mind like a cruel echo. What do you mean? He asked, although deep down he already knew the answer. I'm sorry, Monica. This is not what I want for my life. I'm not ready to be a father. I think it's best that we don't see each other anymore. The sound of the call ending was like a final blow. Monica fell to the ground, hugging her belly, sobbing uncontrollably. She felt betrayed, abandoned, completely alone. Days passed in which she barely got out of bed, plunged into a deep depression. But one morning, while he was looking at his reflection in the bathroom mirror, something changed in his eyes. No, she told herself firmly. I won't let this destroy me. For you, she whispered, caressing his still flat belly. For you, my little Daniel, I will be strong. With renewed determination, Monica began to plan. He packed his few belongings, closed the door to his apartment for the last time, and headed to the bus station. As he waited in line to buy a ticket, his mind wandered to the uncertain future that awaited him. A ticket to the next city, please, he said when it was his turn. As the bus pulled away from the city that had been her home, Monica looked out the window, her eyes shining with a mix of fear and hope. Let's start again, Daniel, he whispered. You and me against the world. I promise I will do everything I can to give you the life you deserve. The horizon stretched before her, unknown and terrifying, but full of possibilities. Monica took a deep breath, holding on to the promise of a new beginning, determined to forge a better future for herself and her unborn child. The bus screeched to a stop in an unfamiliar city. Monica went down, her steps uncertain on the strange pavement. With a protective hand on her now slightly bulging belly, she began her search for work and a place to live. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Monica managed to find a small apartment and some temporary jobs, but the daily struggle was wearing her down. One afternoon, as she walked exhausted through the streets after another day of fruitless searching, an advertisement in a local newspaper caught her attention. Looking for a full-time caregiver. Nursing experience preferred. Good pay. Call. With trembling hands, Monica dialed the number. A deep voice answered. Blackwood Mansion. How may I help you? I'm calling about the caregiver ad, Monica responded, her voice barely above a whisper. After a brief telephone interview, Monica found herself the next day in front of an imposing mansion. His heart was pounding as he rang the doorbell. The door opened, revealing an older man in a crisp suit. Miss Monica, I suppose. I'm Gerard, the butler. Please follow me. Monica followed Gerard through long hallways until they reached a study. There, sitting in a wheelchair by the window, was Nathaniel Blackwood. His presence, despite his condition, filled the room. So you're the candidate, Nathaniel said, his voice rough but with a hint of curiosity. His eyes, a piercing blue, examined Monica from head to toe, stopping briefly at her belly. Monica felt a chill but stood firm. Yes, Mr. Blackwood. I'm here for the caregiver position. Nathaniel watched her for a moment longer before speaking. Do you have experience caring for someone in my condition? Monica swallowed. No, sir. But I learn quickly and I am willing to give my best. A barely perceptible smile appeared on Nathaniel's lips. Honesty. I like that. Tell me, why should I hire you? Monica felt that it was the moment of truth. Her voice shaky but determined, she responded, because I need this job more than anyone, Mr. Blackwood. Not just for myself, but for my baby. I promise I will take care of you like you were my own family. The silence that followed seemed eternal. Finally, Nathaniel nodded. All right, Monica, you're hired. Gerard will show you your room and your responsibilities. As she followed Gerard, Monica felt a mixture of relief and anxiety. He had gotten the job, but what challenges awaited him in this mysterious mansion? That night, lying in her new bed, Monica caressed her belly. "We did it, Daniel," she whispered. "This is our new beginning." But as sleep overcame her, she couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to Nathaniel Blackwood, something hidden behind those piercing eyes and that aloof businessman facade. What secrets did this mansion keep? And how would your life and that of your unborn child change? The days at Blackwood Mansion melted into one another, each bringing new challenges and mysteries. Monica quickly adapted to her role as caregiver, slowly gaining Nathaniel's trust with her dedication and empathy. One night, while helping Nathaniel get ready for bed, he noticed a photograph on his nightstand. The image showed a young Nathaniel alongside a beautiful woman and a small child. "Is this your family, Mr. Blackwood?" Monica asked, unable to contain her curiosity. Nathaniel visibly tensed. "That was a long time ago, Monica. Some stories are better left in the past." The sadness in his voice awakened something in Monica. "Sorry, I didn't mean to be nosy." "Don't worry," Nathaniel replied, his gaze lost in the distance. "Maybe one day I'll tell you that story, but not today." That night, Monica couldn't sleep. The image of the photograph and Nathaniel's reaction haunted her. What had happened to that family? Why was Nathaniel living alone in this huge mansion? Over the next few days, Monica began to notice small details. Whispered conversations between Nathaniel and Gerard, mysterious letters arriving regularly, locked rooms in the mansion. One afternoon, while cleaning Nathaniel's study, Monica accidentally knocked over a stack of papers. As he picked them up, a name caught his attention. Project Phoenix. Intrigued, she began to read, but the sound of Nathaniel's approaching wheelchair startled her. "What are you doing, Monica?" Nathaniel's voice was cold. His eyes narrowed in suspicion. I'm sorry, Mr. Blackwood. I was cleaning up and these papers fell out," Monica replied, her heart pounding. Nathaniel watched her for a tense moment before softening his expression. "It's okay. Just be careful with the documents in the future." That night, in the solitude of her room, Monica couldn't stop thinking about what she had seen. What was the Phoenix Project? And why did Nathaniel react that way? The next few days, Monica found herself paying more attention to details, searching for clues in every corner of the mansion. He noticed the secret calls Nathaniel made late at night, the visitors who arrived at odd hours and left quickly. One night, as Monica walked down the hallway, she heard Nathaniel's disturbed voice coming from his study. "They can't find out, you understand? If this gets out, everything I've worked for will crumble." Monica froze, her hand instinctively on her belly. What was he getting into? Was she endangering her baby because of her curiosity? But something inside her couldn't let go of the mystery. She felt there was a deeper connection between her and Nathaniel, something that went beyond their relationship as employee and employer. "Daniel," she whispered to her baby, "what should I do? Continue investigating or leave things as they are?" As she contemplated her dilemma, Monica couldn't shake the feeling that she was on the verge of discovering something that would change her life forever. Nathaniel's secret was there, just out of reach, tempting her. Would I have the courage to unravel it? And what would the cost be if he did? Monica's curiosity grew day by day, consuming her inside. Every night, after making sure Nathaniel was asleep, she would sneak silently through the halls of the mansion, searching for answers. One stormy night, as the wind howled outside, Monica found the opportunity she had been waiting for. Nathaniel had left unexpectedly, leaving his study unlocked. With his heart pounding, he entered the room. His eyes quickly scanned the shelves full of books and documents. In a half-open drawer, a file marked "Confidential" caught his attention. With trembling hands, he opened it. "My God," he whispered as he read the documents. "It just can't be." The Phoenix Project was not what she imagined. It was the story of a business empire built on lies and betrayal. Nathaniel had manipulated his own family, leaving them broke to rise in the business world. But there was more. Among the papers, Monica found an unsent letter addressed to a certain Alexander Blackwood. "Dear son," the letter began, "I know you can never forgive me for what I did. Ambition blinded me and I destroyed what I loved most. Your mother, I lost them both to my greed. Now, as my health deteriorates, I can only hope that one day you will understand that every penny I have earned, every company I have built, everything is for you, to make amends for my mistakes, to give you the life you deserved and that I took from you." Tears ran down Monica's cheeks as she read. The cold businessman I knew had a broken heart, filled with guilt and regret. Suddenly, the sound of the front door opening startled her. Nathaniel had returned. In her haste to leave the study, Monica tripped, knocking over a stack of books. "Who's there?" Nathaniel's voice echoed through the hallway. Trapped, Monica walked out into the hallway, confronting Nathaniel. "Monica, what are you doing here?" he asked, his voice a mix of surprise and suspicion. I'm sorry, Mr. Blackwood. I know I shouldn't be here, but—" "What did you see?" Nathaniel interrupted, his tone now hard and cold. Monica hesitated for a moment, but then decided that honesty was her only option. "I know everything, sir. About the Phoenix Project, about your family, about Alexander." Nathaniel's face paled. For a moment, he looked like he was going to burst into anger. But then, to Monica's surprise, his shoulders slumped and tears appeared in his eyes. "I never wanted things to end like this," he said quietly. "My ambition destroyed everything I loved." Monica, moved by a compassion she had not expected to feel, approached Nathaniel and took his hand. "It's not too late to fix it," he said softly. Nathaniel looked at her, a mix of vulnerability and hope in his eyes. "How can you say that after what you've discovered?" "Because we all deserve a second chance," Monica responded, thinking about her own situation. "And because I saw the letter he wrote. I know he's sorry." A heavy silence fell between them. Finally, Nathaniel spoke. "Monica, what you've discovered could destroy me if it becomes public. My reputation, my empire, everything would collapse." Monica felt the weight of the situation on her shoulders. He had in his hands the power to destroy this man, but also the opportunity to help him redeem himself. "What are you going to do?" Nathaniel asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Monica looked at Nathaniel, then at her own belly, thinking about her son's future. The decision he made at that moment would change not only his life, but the lives of many others. She began, her voice shaking slightly. "I think it's time we faced the truth, Mr. Blackwood." Together, Monica's words echoed in the silence of the mansion. Nathaniel stared at her, a mix of fear and hope in his eyes. Together, he asked, his voice breaking, "Why would you want to help me after what you've discovered?" Monica breathed deeply, caressing her belly. "Because we all deserve a chance at redemption, Mr. Blackwood. And because I believe that doing the right thing will benefit us all." The next few days were a whirlwind of emotions and difficult decisions. Monica and Nathaniel spent hours in the studio, discussing how to face the truth without destroying everything Nathaniel had built. One afternoon, while they were reviewing documents, Nathaniel looked at Monica curiously. "How can you be so strong? You're alone, pregnant, and yet—" Monica smiled weakly. "I don't always feel strong. There are days when fear paralyzes me. But then I think about my baby and I know I have to keep going." Nathaniel nodded thoughtfully. "You are extraordinary, Monica. You remind me of Alexander's mother." That night, as Monica was getting ready to sleep, a soft knock sounded on her door. It was Nathaniel. "I've made a decision," he said, his voice firm but thick with emotion. "I'm going to contact Alexander. It's time for him to learn the truth and decide what to do with the company." Monica felt a mixture of relief and anxiety. "Are you sure? This could change everything." "It's the right thing to do," Nathaniel replied. "And I want you to be with me when I do." The next few days were an emotional roller coaster. Monica helped Nathaniel prepare his speech, organize documents, all while dealing with her own worries about the future. Finally, the day arrived. Alexander Blackwood, a man in his 30s with the same piercing eyes as his father, entered the mansion. The tension in the air was palpable. "Father," Alexander said coldly, "it's been a long time." Nathaniel, with Monica at his side, began to speak. He revealed everything. The manipulations, the lies, but also his regret and his desire to make things right. Alexander listened in silence, his face a mask of suppressed emotions. When Nathaniel finished, the silence that followed seemed eternal. "Why now?" Alexander finally asked. "Why after so long?" Nathaniel looked at Monica before answering. "Because someone showed me that it's never too late to do the right thing." Alexander followed his gaze towards Monica, noticing her pregnancy for the first time. "And who are you in all this?" asked. Monica took a deep breath. "I'm someone who believes in second chances," he replied, his voice shaking slightly. The conversation lasted for hours. There were screams, tears, accusations, and, finally, the beginning of an understanding. That night, after Alexander left, promising to return to discuss the future of the company, Monica found herself in the mansion's garden, gazing at the stars. Nathaniel approached in his wheelchair. "Thank you," he said simply. Monica nodded, but her mind was somewhere else. "What will happen now?" she asked, more to herself than to Nathaniel. "I don't know," he answered honestly, "but whatever it is, we'll face it. If you want to stay, of course." Monica looked at Nathaniel, then at her belly. The future was uncertain, full of challenges and possibilities. Should she stay and help Nathaniel rebuild his life and his relationship with Alexander? Or was it time to find your own path? The decision weighed on her. As the night progressed and the stars shone in the sky, silent witnesses of a moment that would change the course of many lives. Monica remained silent for a long moment, her gaze fixed on the horizon. Finally, he turned to Nathaniel. "I'll stay," he said, his voice soft but firm. "But on one condition." Nathaniel looked at her expectantly. "Which? Let me build my own path here. I don't want to be just an employee or a confidant. I want to be part of the solution, contribute in a meaningful way." Nathaniel nodded slowly. "What do you propose?" "I want to help restructure the company," Monica responded, surprising herself with her boldness. "With my care experience and your business knowledge, we could create a health services division, something that would really help people." Nathaniel's eyes lit up with a spark of admiration. "You are extraordinary, Monica. I accept your proposal." The following months were a whirlwind of activity. Monica, with her belly growing day by day, immersed herself in the world of business. He worked tirelessly alongside Nathaniel and Alexander to transform the company. One day, while they were reviewing plans for the new health division, Alexander looked at Monica curiously. "Why are you doing all this?" asked. "You could have left, started over somewhere else." Monica smiled, caressing her belly. "Because I believe in the power of redemption and creating a positive legacy. I want my son to grow up in a world where second chances are possible." Alexander nodded, a new understanding shining in his eyes. The day of Daniel's birth came in the middle of an important business meeting. Nathaniel and Alexander accompanied Monica to the hospital, nerves and excitement palpable in the air. Hours later, Monica held her son in her arms, tears of joy rolling down her cheeks. Nathaniel and Alexander were at his side, a family image that neither of them would have imagined months ago. "It's beautiful," Nathaniel whispered, his voice thick with emotion. Monica looked at the two men, feeling a surge of gratitude and affection. "It's the start of something new for all of us," he said. Weeks later, Monica was in the company's main office, Daniel asleep in a baby carrier next to her. "I was reviewing the latest details of the new health division when Nathaniel walked in. "I have something for you," he said, handing her an envelope. Monica opened it, her eyes widening as she read the contents. "Company shares? In my name." Nathaniel smiled. "You've done more for this family and this company than we can ever thank you for. It's only fair that you have a stake in what you've helped build." Monica felt tears gathering in her eyes. "Thank you," he whispered. "No, thanks to you," Nathaniel replied. for giving us a second chance, for helping us heal. In that moment, looking at her sleeping son and holding the shares in her hands, Monica realized how much her life had changed. From an abandoned and scared woman, she had become a respected businesswoman, part of an unconventional but loving family. Daniel, he whispered to his sleeping son, look how far we've come. And this is just the beginning. As the sun set over the city, bathing the office in golden light, Monica felt a deep sense of peace and purpose. He had faced his fears, forgiven, and in the process, found not only a home, but also his place in the world. The future, once uncertain and terrifying, now glowed with promise and possibility, and Monica was ready to face it, with the strength she had discovered in herself and the love of her new family.